We are starting soon a new channel. And for that new channel, we need motion graphics. I was looking around how other creators are doing it. And I found a bunch of different videos talking about how they create motion graphics using Nano Banana and VO3. The issue is, if we look closer, all those animations are really having bad quality. If we zoom in here, for example, the quality is absolutely horrible and not usable. Now, there are other creators using Hera, but if you are just using Claude Code, for example, you get the same animation, but absolutely great quality. So let's check this example here.
Perfectly with the movement. The only down part is that the motion graphic might look a bit downscaled.
Okay, let's check what Claude created. Perfect. Let's go to the next example.
The design feels modern and futuristic. The slices reveal themselves in a very smooth way, and it even feels like the percentages.
And let's look what Claude did. Here we go. Now, to showcase how simple the prompt actually was, all I wrote was not any complicated prompt here. Recreate this via React, that's it. No complicated prompt. Same here. I basically took the same prompt the creator was using in his video. I basically just wrote to recreate this via React and then animate it. So everything simple, but how can we render this now? Okay, before we start, Claude Opus 4.5 just released, and I thought it's the perfect time to test something. I just want to see if Remotion and Opus are working good together, because in Remotion, we can not only recreate those animations, but we can also actually change any value we create with Remotion. For that, we are using Windsurf. That's our IDE. I'm not a coder myself, so here we can just ask it to do everything for us. Let's actually start with a very empty app. As you can see, there is nothing inside. So they have a couple of templates we can start from, but that will be too complicated to explain. And here we can now just select a template. In our case, we can just select a Hello World template. And inside of Windsurf, we just write something like install it for us and select this template, the most basic template here. Now, this takes maybe 1 minute, so let's just pause for a second. Great. Here we have it installed and it took literally just a minute. And now the best thing about this is, instead of interacting with Nano Banana and hoping it generates the image, we can see, but we can also change the values here. So, for example, welcome to Remotion. And here we go. Welcome to Remotion. The quality is flawless. We can change everything and render it here. Which means if we need charts where we need to change the values, that's perfect. But let's see what else we can do here. Let's go back to his video, create a screenshot, write a simple prompt, create this animation for me with replaceable values, enter it, and let's wait another minute or so. It created the whole code for the animation is done. Let's see if it's working. Perfect. As we can see here on the side, we have the values. So this is fantastic. Why? Because we can change the value here, and those values are dynamic. Opus is so good that we don't need to iterate. It was one shot. We can now enhance the design and optimize it. But I just want to showcase how simple it was to rebuild this and change everything. So let's say we want marketing and see how it looks animated. Perfect. Now, if you're wondering, can we render this? Yes, absolutely. We just go here, press render. Select the quality and render the video. And as we can see here, it's rendering. Instead of using VO3 and paying $2 for one generation and hoping it gets a good result, we can see the result here. It cost us nothing and we can change the values. We can regenerate existing chart animations over and over again without losing quality in our preferred resolution. And here we go. We have the chart animation, and as we can see, perfect. Great quality, no bad values. And I just want to make this clear, because if we are looking at the AI results, look at those numbers here. Absolutely not usable. And look at those numbers here. We can scrub and see really, really crisp. And if someone is arguing like, hey, I can't code, as I've just showed, it's absolutely simple and everyone can do it. Okay, but what else can we do? Let's go to this homepage here, because that's what the other creators are suggesting, Hera. And let's select this one here, as this here is a simple animation. Let's do a screenshot. Let's go back to Windsurf. Let's write something simple here, a very simple prompt. Create a typing animation, highlight only one word, the last word, something like that. All right, let's see. Let's pause and wait. Great, it's done. Let's open it. Typing text. Perfect. That's perfect. Though the highlight was not really working, but that's something we can then iterate. And here we go. We have again the values and type, hi, how are you doing? All right, let's see how it's looking like. Hi, how are you doing? Perfect. So after it's done, it's jumping back, but that's something we can iterate on, very simple, and change that. So that's updated as well. We can change the color, we can change the background color, we can do everything. This is, again, freaking amazing. We can change the size, we can change the speed, and let's see. Perfect. Let's change the speed. Okay, that's too slow. Maybe 7. Hi, how are you doing? Perfect. I mean, if that was not simple, I don't know what simple is. Now let's test this animation here. But this time I'm asking if I'm actually also able to add more or fewer messages. Let's see if that's working. And here we go. Let's see if it's working. So let's open it. And here we have the chat conversation. The chat conversation is not really looking how expected because it's a little bit too far right and left. But let's see if it's actually something we can then add here. Perfect. As we can see, we can add more messages, and let's add another one. Yeah, it's working, and we can type and create more fields here. Not only that, but we can also change, is it me or not me? We can add more messages. I don't know what to say. And let's see. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's amazing. Let's change the background and put the messages closer together. Okay, so let's change the background image and put the position of the messages closer to the center. And here we go. As we can see, we have another background and it's working perfectly fine again. We can add, of course, now more messages as before. And let's move it. We can change, of course, the position where it's coming from. And of course, we have now the ability to add another background. So let's just change the background here. Change it. Let's just add this background. Great. So we have now the conversation. And we have added a new message. And of course, now we can change the complete layout. We can change and make it maybe like a phone case. We can add images left and right. That's absolutely possible and does not require any work at all. Okay, this is not a usual video. This was a very spontaneous video about Claude Opus. And I hope it was showcasing you how powerful it is. I have played around with Remotion back then, but it never felt as simple as working with Claude Opus 4.5. I mean, look at the conversation. Everything was one shot. And of course, we can argue now that, for example, this here was two shot, but it was working. I just iterated. I just asked for the background change and to make it closer. But everything else was working right off the batch. Here, there was no changes, even the installation. I hope you can also understand the use cases you can build with it. Think about different countries where you can just interchange the values. Think about other use cases where you might want to create a visualization of any flow you have built. So instead of like doing screenshots or asking Nano Banana to do it, you just build it once. You press on plus, add a next step, and now you are able to visualize it. Of course, those things might need more iteration, but as I've showed you, it is so simple now that literally everyone can do this. I still hope this video was somehow helpful. See you till the next one.